Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, it will be the last one of the season and we'll be looking at the final weeks of the Barnet Sunday Football League season and look forward to the big game tomorrow night, the title decider in the Premier Division. But we'll start off with the results. In the Premier Division, Highgate Albion picking up a 2-1 win over Trabzonspor, and that kept their title hopes alive, and it took us to the title decider tomorrow night. Very good season for Trabzonspor, but ultimately they fell short in two facets. They obviously fell short in the league and they fell short in the London Cup, losing in the final, but they can be proud of their efforts this season. I think they've done really well. They've transitioned from a mid-table team last season. They were actually in Div 1 the season before, and to show the progress they made this season, London Cup finalists and third in the league, just a few points behind Oakwood and Highgate Albion, shows how far they've come. And next season, obviously, I think they'll be back again and trying to win the title for the first time. In Division 1, we had Enfield United picking up a 3-0 win over AC Finchley, and there was literally only two league games this week. The cup games saw Gal All-Stars beating Westbourne United 2-0 in the Invitational Cup final. North London Athletic beating North Atletico Seniors 6-1 in the Richard Martin Memorial Cup final, and Arness Rangers winning the Charity Shield over Roving Reporters 3-2. So with the results out of the way, we're just going to basically talk about tomorrow's game. Haringey Borough, the setting. Last time these two teams met at Haringey Borough was the Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup final last year, which saw Highgate Albion picking up the win. And obviously this season they've retained their Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup. They were finalists in the FA National Sunday Cup. They're one win away from doing the double this season as well. They were only knocked out of one competition before the semi-final as well. They made the semi-finals of the Premier Cup as well. They only got knocked out of the London Cup. Yeah, pretty much. They only got knocked out of the London Cup earlier on, but every other competition they win, Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup, Premier Cup, National Cup, they all advanced at least to the semi-final. And it's been a very good season for Highgate Albion. Can they do the double? They're one game away from that. Standing in the way are Oakwood, who have been top of the table the majority of the season. They play some very good ball. They've got some very exciting players as well. When you go and see Oakwood, they do look on the small side, but I tell you what, they stick their body in the way. They can be physical. They can play rough. As rough as a lot of teams. They give it back to you. These guys aren't intimidated, and they've got a lot of talent and a lot of flair, a lot of charisma in the team. And I know that they'll be very pumped up. This is a chance at redemption for them. Early on in the season, they have met two times this season. Oakwood picking up the win in the league, but then were knocked out of the Premier Cup by Highgate Albion. So one game apiece for both teams this season. Obviously, we mentioned the Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup final from last season, and will that have a psychological effect for both teams coming into this game? Obviously, we've got a few injuries for Highgate Albion. I don't know if Alexandre Gavlois, Jesus Christ, I might have actually butchered that name, but Alex Gavlois, if he's still injured, whether he'll, be deputised. I think the keeper actually, who deputised for him, actually did very well against Patey's. He did keep him in the game with some good saves, so he's more than capable of playing this game. For Oakwood, can they get their wingers involved? Can they create chances against a very experienced Highgate defence, obviously captained by Ian Maitland? But I'm looking at the kind of can Oakwood handle the pressure? Because they've never been here before. The story of Oakwood is remarkable in my eyes. 2 years ago, they were actually in Division 3 with AFC Rose, and we actually beat them. So, that's a bit of a story. And since then, they've jumped up remarkably. Obviously, Division 1 last season, very unlucky to not win the title, denied them the final day in a double header by the wrong uns. But they've put that disappointment behind them. They were very good, in the London Cup. They were unlucky to lose, draw a great team in Beatties and put up a valiant effort, valiant fight, but unfortunately lost that game. But they have been top of the table, the majority of the season, and looked very impressive in some games, especially against Takers. The 6-3 win, they played some very good ball in that game. Scored some very impressive goals, and you can't deny, the quality, in the passing that Oakwood possess. They've knocked off some very decent teams this year. Even in the London Cup, they really made Kumasi look very average. I actually watched, the last 30-40 minutes of that game. They made them look very average on the day. Beat Southwest Rangers as well, put 7 past them in South London. So, Oakwood will go into this game knowing that they're fully capable of winning this game. And obviously Highgate Albion will. I'm really looking forward to the battle between Jake Cass of Highgate Albion, whether he plays. Hopefully he plays, because he's a very entertaining player, good finisher, strong. As we've mentioned in previous videos, can score from pretty much anywhere outside the box, with the headers, and he can, be a poacher in the box as well. Darian Furlong of Oakwood, he'll be tasked to stop Jake Cass from scoring. Obviously, you've got Yasin Aber of Oakwood as well, very tricky winger. They'll be looking at Giorgio Solandro as well, top scorer in the league this year. Can he provide the goals, for Oakwood to lift them to the title? I think the main factor for Oakwood is that will give them a lot of confidence, is they only need to draw to win the title as well. But that's a dangerous mindset as well, and I know the management team will be, bashing it into the players' ears come pre-game. They'll be drilling it in, saying, I know we only need a draw, but you can't, have this mindset of, oh, a draw's enough. You've got to play to win, especially against a good team in Highgate Albion. You can't invite, players of the quality of a Forey and Kennedy, and Cass, and give time to their midfield as well. Give time to players like that, and you're going to concede. I think Oakwood have to have a positive mindset, and they usually do. Oakwood are not a team that just shut up shop. I've never seen Oakwood shut up shop. They like to play an entertaining brand of football, and as the Highgate Albion as well. And I'm really expecting a very good game between these two teams. As we said, that usually on the channel, don't forget to, get down there. It's at Haringey Borough. I presume it's free entry. It should be. I mean, it's a Sunday League game. Obviously, with the Sunday Challenge Cup final, there was a entry fee, but I don't think there is one tomorrow night. So yeah, if you're local to the area, I suggest getting down to Haringey Borough and watching the game, because it's going to be a very entertaining game, full of drama, full of quality. And as I always say, best of luck to both teams. Hopefully football is the real winner on the night. And that's it for the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. I've been trying to hit 50 subscribers. I know it's only a small goal, but we're trying to build the channel one subscriber at a time, and I really appreciate all the love and comments on the videos from all of you. So and it's also been a pleasure to provide the Barnet Sunday League football results for the Celt podcast as well. So if you're not following the Celt podcast, please do on Twitter and on YouTube as well, and on where you get your podcast from, Spotify, Mixer, wherever it is, SoundCloud, LimeWire. Don't forget to download the podcast, because it's run by a very good man in Andrew, and the contributors, my fellow contributors, are a lot of great people who do a lot of great things for the community in Sunday League. So I'm really appreciative to be a member, and that's all I've got to say. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.